everyone, I am Swati Gupta, your host for today's session on teaching teenagers about money management. As parents, we often find ourselves navigating this tricky subject, and today we are going to use it and explore it very effectively. And with me, I have a very special guest, Sunil Kumar Gupta. He's a chartered accountant and a prosperity investment mentor. So, thank you so much, Sunil ji, for coming into the show. And it means a lot for sparing so much of time and being there with us. Thank you so much. And we're looking forward for this amazing session with you today.
Thank you, Swati. Thank you for the warm welcome, and especially, thanks for the invite to the Wisdom Waves.
Means a
Because
lot.
when I talk about wisdom waves, wisdom is basically like crux of the expert knowledge. And when we talk about waves, it is like moving energy, and combined together, it's kind of, say positive energy which is moving around. So the word itself is so enthusiastic and so positive, and I'm really honored, to be here
Thank
and
you.
sharing my word of wisdom about the finance and wealth, which actually touches everybody's life actually.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And the name Wisdom Waves is because I get some beautiful mentors like you who can guide us to people like we are novices, to people who are into investment but not sure on what to do. So this basically this podcast, this live session is for all of the parents, whether you be teenage parent, whether you be a toddler parent, because what you model and what you show your toddler, what you show your teenager, they will learn from you. So we always say children learn not with what we say but what we do. So that is why this session is all the more important. And thank you so much for being here, because honestly I feel raising financially responsible children in today's world is more important than ever, because
Very
our
right.
children watch and learn everything we do. So how we manage money, children know it.
In fact, your whatever you said, it is absolutely right. And here I would like to quote, if you remember in Mahabharata, everybody
Hmm.
knows the story of Abhimanyu, right?
Yes.
And Abhimanyu actually learned the secret of Chakravyuh, in its you can say pre-birth session, right? The
Correct,
only
correct.
thing is that he didn't know, like, the exit, mechanism of that Chakravyuh. But you
Huh.
can understand from this that the children's, they really learn, and they really observe their parents, how they do, what they do.
Correct.
And it happens very silently. You won't even realize that, because it happens passively. Like you are not
Hmm.
teaching anything specific to them, but they observe, they learn so many
Absolutely.
things. And that
Hmm.
is why I always say you need to be very careful, because in my personal experience also, the
Hmm.
children are like, the auto recorder. They will learn, they will record everything, and suddenly at some very odd situation they replay, and they
Hmm.
will put you in odd situations, right? So you need to be
Right.
really very, but the one thing is very important, that they observe
Hmm.
silently. So you need to be very cautious, especially in front of the children, how you're doing, how you're behaving. What's your therapy? That is so that is why you're whatever you said is very right actually.
Absolutely. So actually, when we talk about money, the only thing I can think about, and there's a very sweet memory about my childhood which I would like to share. So basically, what was happening is when I was a little baby, we used to have that mitti ki gullak. मुझे तो याद ही नहीं है कि ये बटन्स वाले गुल्लक क्या होते हैं, तो बिकॉज वी रिमेंबर दैट मिट्टी की गुल्लक. Okay, so one day my brother, he was I think he was we were similar to teens kind of age, and he wanted a उस समय PS4 नहीं होता था, there used to be a video game, एक छोटा सा एक बॉक्स टाइप आता था वीडियो गेम का. And my mom said that we can't get it, we'll get it only if you want to buy it from your own gullak money. Okay, so he had about 700 800 or 900 or something, and that was for 1500 or 1600. So obviously we have to combine. Now his birthday comes in March, my birthday comes in April. So I was like, ठीक है, I am a generous sister, कोई बात नहीं, मैं अपना दे देती हूँ, and I gave it to him. And we broke the gullak together and we accumulated that money, and he used the whole amount of money, both his and mine, both together, and he used it. So now I was very happy that I helped my brother, and everything was very, very, very happy. But then I realized on my birthday, I did not get anything because the money was over. So that was such a big realization for me that, acha, matlab once one is sacrifice. I sacrificed my money for my brother, but then I realized that it's important to sacrifice, but it is important to understand your own money also. I could have given half, and I could have kept something for myself. So that realization came to me when I was such a little baby. But that thing was because of the gullak which came into my house. And every year we used to get that same gullak. Every year. Well, the same mitti ki gullak, same auntie used to come to our house, give that gullak. We used to break it on our birthday. But those little things made us realize that life is so different. And what happens with children now? Tuck 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 tuck, low mama 100 rupees, tuck 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 tuck, low mama 200. So that saving, or that money which is completely accumulated and only then we break it and do it, that was not there. Matlab, that is not here now.
Right, right, right.
So I love that so much, and it is so close to me. So
In
I was
fact,
like,
yeah, yeah. In fact, if you see, even if the parents can afford many things,
hmm,
but
hmm.
this is the best way actually. They can rightly, say grow up their children, especially when it comes to money mindness, right?
Yes,
Money
yes,
mindfulness.
yes,
Because what
yes.
happens, the children should not feel it is easy money. In fact, the
Hmm.
money started touching their life right at the pre-birth stage. In India, the gifting money starts right at that stage. And if
Ha,
this
correct.
gullak got introduced to them right at the early ages,
Hmm.
believe me, they will be like, it's a kind of system which gets created right from the early ages. They
Ha.
becomes money mindful. They know,
Hmm.
how does it work. They know that
Correct.
system. Because if where the parents, where they spoil the children, because
Ha.
the children will always have, say demand which is many times unreasonable. One of the
Hmm.
famous sentence by the children's, कि मेरी क्लास में सब बच्चों के पास है ये, right?
Ha.
Even if
Ha.
only one children have, but what they will say, और एक क्लास में सबने ये ले रखा है, right? And that is how they raise their demand. And this is where the right parenting come into picture, like,
Right.
even if they can afford, but it should not be given as a easy money. They
Ha.
should give
Ha.
them
True.
some kind of restriction. Boss itne ka hai,
Hmm.
what
Hmm.
is your
Hmm.
input, or what is your sacrifice, or how does it
Right.
come, boss ye
Hmm.
effort chahiye, that is how it works.
Ha.
But
Ha.
otherwise many times what happens, okay beta, it's okay. And that is the emotional challenge with the parents,
Ha.
because if you
Ha.
see, the parents, they want to do best for their children. For them
Absolutely.
money doesn't matter. They say, okay beta, it's okay. It's fine,
Ha.
it's fine. But that is how they spoil. That is
Ha.
where it starts
Ha.
actually.
Right, right. No, absolutely. So with that, I have some amazing questions for you. So if you don't mind, I would ask those questions, and please help us understand and decode the whole money management and investment perspective.
Right, absolutely, go ahead.
Thank you so much. So with that, with first question comes is, what is actually money management, and why is it important to manage it?
Yeah. So when it comes to money, the if you see, money is actually a value exchange, right? If you
Hmm,
see
hmm,
money, money itself has no relevance, no value as such. What
hmm,
money can does is, it gives you a kind of, say, freedom. It gives you kind of choice you make,
hmm,
right?
hmm.
So money has a, you can say, buying value, right?
Okay.
uh, Otherwise money as such, there's nothing. Money is a paper money. Like, if you have money in your account,
Hmm,
it doesn't matter, unless it gives you freedom to buy something, to,
correct.
I mean, because it gives you freedom to choice, like, I can buy this, or I can buy this, or I cannot buy this, kind of,
Hmm,
because this is
hmm.
where the choice comes from money.
Right.
Second thing is, money, the kind of market which is there,
Hmm.
money is never unlimited. Like, it is
Okay.
always a limited resource, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Because that is how the situation comes, that you really need some kind of management, right? That is why
Hmm.
it is important, because
Hmm.
it is not an unlimited resource with you. There
Hmm.
will
Hmm.
always be limitation, whether the limitation is low, medium, or high, but there is always
Right.
a limitation as compared to the things which are available in the market, right?
Right, right.
Suppose you want to buy a mobile, right? When
Hmm,
you
hmm,
go for a mobile, right from say 10,000 or 5,000, the costing is nowadays
hmm,
iPhone is 1.5 lakh and 2 lakh rupees, right?
hmm.
So
Correct,
the money, what it does, you can make a choice whether you want to buy a 2 lakh phone, or you want to buy say 10, 20,000 phone, or 50,000 phone,
correct.
right? So it's
Hmm,
always, and that is why, whatever money is there, you need to
hmm.
manage it, because
Right.
you just cannot go and buy, okay, 2 lakh ka phone kharid liya. You can
Correct.
buy,
Huh. Hmm.
provided you can afford it. So that
Right.
affordability comes, and that is why this money management is important.
Hmm.
Similarly, when you go and buy out a car, right,
Hmm.
there's a wide range, right from say 10 lakh to say 10 crore or maybe 1 crore. You
Correct.
just cannot
Hmm.
go and just buy any car. You
Right.
always go with
You take your
something like,
pocket. Hmm.
why you need to manage is because you have limited resource.
Hmm.
Market, maybe there are a lot of things which are available, but you always
Hmm.
need to manage. And how you need to manage is, you need to keep your objectives in your mind. What is your requirement? Because
Huh.
you may have money for maybe immediate requirement, you may have some medium term requirement, you may have some
Right.
long term visibility also. So you
Hmm.
need to actually provide funds for all those, because it will not come from anywhere, right?
Hmm.
So you need, and that is why money management is important, because you have, on one side you have a limited resource, on another side you have multiple objectives. And
Hmm.
believe me, money is just a number game, nothing else. If you keep it simple, it's just a number game, because you just consider that life cycle is same for all, whether
Huh.
it's a very very say mediocre person, whether it is like rich like Ambani or any other big businessman, right? The
Hmm.
life
Hmm.
cycle is same. A child is
Correct.
born, he goes to school, then he goes to say college, higher education, then he gets
Huh.
married, right?
Right.
And then the same cycle repeats for his children, and he gradually becomes senior citizen and goes to the old age or something, right, on the
Correct.
retirement
Correct.
side.
Huh.
But
Huh.
then his children's same life cycle changes.
Hmm.
So the life cycle is more or less same. What is
Hmm.
difference is how much money you have, what are
Right.
the money related things you have managed, like whether you
Huh.
can afford say 1 lakh, 10 lakh, 50 lakh or 1 crore. All is just a number game.
Right.
That is how
Right.
I see, that is the reason that money management is important, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
That is how
So,
it
what
is.
is that one thing which we should be careful when it comes to money management?
The very first thing, when it comes to money, as I mentioned, it is a very, very limited resource, right? The
Hmm. Hmm.
moment you can monitor what is coming and what is going, where your
Hmm.
money is coming from and where your money is going, the
Right.
moment you are able to observe that, the
Hmm.
rest of the things will automatically fall in place. I
Hmm.
call it like cash flow. You need to
Hmm.
control your cash flow, and I always say that always keep it positive.
हाँ, हाँ,
आपने
हाँ।
एक पुरानी कहावत सुनी होगी कि पैर उतना ही पसारो जितना
जितना
चादर हो। मैं
हाँ,
इसमें एक चीज और ऐड करता हूँ कि पैर उतना पसारो जितनी चादर हो, बट चादर आप बढ़ाओ। बट
हाँ,
ऐसा नहीं है कि पहले पैर पसारे उसके बाद तुम ढूंढ रहे हो चादर, नॉट
हाँ,
लाइक दैट।
सही बात है।
So
हाँ,
the cash flow should always be positive in the sense that,
हाँ,
say your incoming is 100, don't
and you're
spend
spending
110,
200.
spend
हाँ,
90, spend 80,
right.
right?
Hmm.
That is the very first thing. This is the core formula of say money management. I always call it live on 90%. It means
Hmm.
जितना भी पैसा आ रहा है 10% उठा के उसको बिल्कुल साइड कर दो.
Correct.
Don't ignore it totally, like put it into some investment, some by default investment कि आपको पैसा ही 90% मिला है, and you
हाँ,
start living on that, and you
right.
will never have problem out of it.
Hmm.
It's such a very very basic formula, but होता क्या है आजकल कि out of 10 calls, 9 out of 10 calls you will receive या तो लोन ले लो या
हाँ.
क्रेडिट कार्ड ले लो, something like that. So
हाँ,
what they are doing is they want you to spend more, like instead of when you are receiving 100, they want to spend say 150 or 200 by having this additional loan,
हाँ, हाँ.
right? That is where this all other problem starts. So the very basic, if you ask me like what is that one thing, just observe your inflow and outflow and
Hmm.
keep it positive. You should
Okay.
never go beyond your means.
Hmm. Perfect, perfect. So, what is investing? And what is that one biggest enemy and biggest friend in the investing?
Okay, before I talk about investing, let me first tell you what is the biggest enemy and your biggest friend. you know
Perfect.
in the investing world, the inflation is the biggest enemy.
Hmm.
Why it is enemy? Because it eats your money silently, like a termite. So
Hmm.
suppose you have 100 rupees today, right? And you can buy that 100 rupees worth of material or services today, but that
Hmm.
100 will no longer be 100, say few years down the line,
Right. Right.
because either you invest your this 100 in such a manner that this 100 becomes 150, so that
Huh.
you can afford, that point. Otherwise this 100 will become only 50, and we call it
Correct.
inflation, right?
Hmm.
Or you
Hmm.
can say the cost is continuously rising, but your,
Huh.
if your money, the real value is not, rising, it is decreasing
Hmm.
day by day. So that is
Right.
your biggest enemy, which is called inflation. And many times what happens, suppose, especially in terms of when we talk about say teenage parents, so
Huh.
today education is one of the biggest expenses when it comes to
Hmm.
teenage parents, right?
Right.
In fact,
Right.
in our time, maybe the entire school college budget was not there, which actually now spent on just a play school, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And
You do.
you won't believe the education, the parents are spending hell lot of money, whether
Correct.
it is
Ask me.
school,
I have to.
it is right, whether it is school, college,
Hmm.
and then the surrounding things, you have that extracurricular activity, you have some additional
Peer
tuition,
pressure.
right?
हाँ.
And all those things combined together.
Hmm.
And मजे की बात क्या है कि आज जो एक कॉस्टिंग आपको, सपोज तुम्हारे बच्चे भी सब इसे स्कूल में हैं, राइट?
Hmm.
यू
Hmm.
कैन विजुलाइज कि सपोज हायर एजुकेशन में सपोज 10 लाख का बजट है, वो आज
Right.
नजर आ रहा है 10 लाख का, मे बी 10 years डाउन द लाइन दैट 10 लाख विल
Inflation
बिकम
है. Hmm.
say 20 lakhs or 30 lakhs. So
Correct.
this
हाँ.
inflation is very, very important to be considered when you plan your own finances, because
Hmm.
you should not plan actually 10 lakh rupees. You should plan for say 20 or 30, whatever is the inflation adjusted amount at
Right.
that point of time.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that is why I always say inflation is the biggest enemy, which many
Hmm.
people actually
Hmm.
forget. They
Hmm.
feel that okay, I can afford it, but they don't
Hmm.
realize the real value of money is decreasing day by day. On
So
the other side, yeah,
hmm.
yeah,
So
please
I
speak.
was saying, अगर हमें पता है that there's inflation and we don't know where to invest. So what is the right investment? हमें करना क्या चाहिए? मतलब if I'm a novice, where should I actually directly? You tell me, हाँ, this is the places where I can invest, or what is the right investment thought which you
See,
can suggest to parents and novice investors like us?
इसमें क्या होता है, on the other side, as I mentioned, enemy is inflation, the other side is the compounding. So
Hmm.
in investment, normally क्या होता है, most people they ask, यार मेरे को कोई अच्छा शेयर बता दो, या कोई अच्छी
Correct.
इन्वेस्टमेंट बता
हाँ.
दो.
Right.
The correct metrics actually is that you should consider what is the rate, where it is compounding. I mean, what is the rate of return, right?
Hmm.
And that
Hmm.
rate of return, you should choose the investment on the basis of your risk profile. Somebody
Hmm.
may be very comfortable in say fixed deposits, because even if it gives say 7-8%, but
हाँ.
there is no fluctuation, it is very, very smooth.
Right.
But it is against the inflation, because inflation is eating your money silently. So you need
Correct.
that alpha,
हाँ.
that higher investment, so that your
Hmm.
money grows in actual terms. That is why
हाँ.
this
हाँ.
compounding matters, right?
Hmm.
Now, when it comes to like how to choose the right investment, the first step is the risk profiling. You should know what is your own risk profile, how comfortable
Hmm.
you are with different kind of investment. Don't just
Right.
copy somebody else investment that उसने वहां लगाया तो it is
तो
good for
हम भी
me.
वही लगा.
It's not necessary.
Right.
How I consider investing is like, what happens is investing is more like, you can say, suppose you have money, right? And you can buy a car, right?
Hmm.
So this car is like your money, or investing money which is available to you. So now when you buy
Hmm.
a car, what happens? If you know, either you know the driving, then you can drive yourself, or
Right.
you will hire a driver, right?
Right.
So without knowing the driver, without knowing the driving, you will not just get into the car and say, okay, I'll drive. Can you?
Right.
You cannot, right?
No, you cannot. Hmm.
Investing is similar, right? Either you are active investor or you are a passive
Hmm.
investor. So either
Hmm.
you learn driving, you learn investing,
Hmm.
right? Or you do it passively. For example, mutual fund is one of the best way of passive investing. You don't
Okay.
know much, but you go with a wider base and just invest blindly to the top performing, or some major investment. Don't get into the specialized one or something, like sectoral, thematic, or something. Go with a wider base, and you don't need to do anything, because there are professionals, manage fund manager who are managing that, because you
Right.
don't know, right?
Hmm.
Once you learn, investing, right, then you can try the other investment like direct equity or something, but that all
Hmm.
is a matter of, again, your risk profile
Hmm.
and to what extent you know. So there are
Okay.
actually two approaches to investing. One is active investing, another is passive investing. So if you're
Okay.
not comfortable in directly investing, it is better to select the passive investing. For example,
Okay.
fixed deposit is one of the basic पैसिव इन्वेस्टिंग.
Investment.
आपने
Hmm.
एफडी किया, 8% 7% जो मिल रहा है, आपको पता है 1 साल के बाद मेरा इतना अमाउंट हो गया.
Hmm.
एक लेवल ऊपर है म्यूचुअल फंड, दैट विल गिव
Hmm.
यू से अराउंड anywhere between say 10 to 15% depending on the market
Right.
condition, but that is not fixed, right? But
Hmm.
उसमें भी आपको कुछ नहीं करना है. Broadly, if you selected the major mutual fund, some asset allocation is important that you can discuss and understand very easily, and then
Okay.
that's the end of it. Then the
Hmm.
third level comes like you want to invest directly into the equity, but you need to learn. Just don't get into like, अच्छा यार मेरे को कोई अच्छा शेयर बता दो. Then
Hmm.
the same things will happen, the Abhimanyu story, right? You
हाँ,
enter into the
घुसना
Chakravyuh,
तो आ गया,
तो
निकलना
वो
नहीं आया.
निकलना नहीं आया. तो होता क्या
हाँ.
है, जैसे मैंने आपको बोला कि एक शेयर ये वाला ले लो, राइट? अब
Hmm.
मैंने बता तो दिया. अब आई नो कि मेरे को कब उसमें एंट्री करनी थी, कब एग्जिट
कब
करनी थी,
एग्जिट
कितना
करनी,
टाइम
हाँ.
रखना था. आपने एंट्री तो कर लिया. आफ्टर दैट
कब
यू
एग्जिट
डोंट नो व्हाट इज
करना
हैपनिंग टू
है.
दैट. और फिर क्या,
करेक्ट.
अचानक से कभी डाउन हो गया, आपने कहा
हाँ.
यार मैंने ये पैसा लगाया था, डूब गया या
हाँ.
डाउन हो गया, राइट?
हाँ.
सो
हाँ.
अनलेस until you don't learn that investing, you should not get into those kind of investing
राइट.
directly. And there is
हम्म.
another level which I call the fancy investments. उसका
हम्म.
बीच बीच में ट्रेंड आता है, जैसे क्रिप्टो करेंसी है,
हम्म.
कुछ और अलग अलग तरह के नाम आएंगे. सो
हाँ.
इसमें एक ये बोला जाता है, यू डोंट नीड everything, keep it simple, keep it very very basic.
राइट. हम्म.
And when it comes to investing, there are only broad two categories. One is debt,
हम्म.
another is debt something like FD कि आपको फिक्स आ रहा है. Another is
ठीक.
equity, जिसमें
हम्म.
डायरेक्ट इक्विटी भी हो सकता है, म्यूचुअल
हम्म.
फंड भी हो सकता है, डिपेंडिंग ऑन वेदर यू वांट एक्टिव इन्वेस्टिंग और पैसिव इन्वेस्टिंग. दैट्स ऑल. कीप इट
ठीक है.
सिंपल.
हम्म.
होता क्या है, कॉम्प्लिकेट कर देते हैं लोग.
हम्म.
इशू यही है कि दे
हाँ.
गेट इनटू बिकॉज यहाँ पर क्या, ग्रीड और फियर. डर भी
हाँ.
लगता है लेकिन लालच है कि
लालच
यार
भी.
एफडी पे 7% मिल रहा है, उधर तो बंदे कह रहे 25% आ रहा है यार. है,
हाँ. हाँ.
कहीं कहीं जगह पर 30% भी आ गया है. बट वो ये
हाँ.
नहीं सोचते दैट इज नॉट गारंटीड एंड दैट इज नॉट लीनियर. थर्टी
हम्म.
परसेंट फ्लैट नहीं आ रहा है हर समय. वो 30 का कभी -30 भी होता है, कभी +30 भी होता है, तो
हाँ.
जाके एवरेज 30 आ रहा है. तो दैट इज वेयर पीपल डोंट रियलाइज इट.
हम्म. हम्म.
दैट इज व्हाट इन्वेस्टिंग इज लाइक. इन्वेस्टिंग में एक और कंसेप्ट मैं बताना चाहूंगा यहाँ पर कि
हम्म.
होता है क्या, इन्वेस्टिंग इज लाइक सीडिंग. देयर इज नो क्विक फिक्सेस. इट्स लाइक यू सो द सीड, यू
हाँ.
नर्चर इट ओवर ए पीरियड ऑफ टाइम एंड देन यू
हम्म.
एंजॉय द फ्रूट्स.
ओके.
होता क्या है, लोग चाहते हैं कि यार मैं आज ही करूं और आज ही मैंने सीड लगाया,
हाँ.
राइट, और मेरे को फ्रूट मिल जाए. तो वो जो
हम्म.
जल्दी वाला जो काम है ना, दैट इज द बिगेस्ट मिस्टेक एक्चुअली पीपल
हाँ.
डज. इट
हाँ.
हैपेंस ओवर ए पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, स्लो एंड स्टेडी. बिकॉज जो क्विक वाला है वो
बिल्कुल.
लॉटरी होता है. क्विक
हम्म.
वाला इज लॉटरी कि आपने बीज वाला बोया और फ्रूट मिल गया, ऐसा नहीं होता. सो
राइट. राइट.
एंड सीडिंग में क्या होता है, यू हैव मल्टीपल सीड्स इनिशियली व्हेन यू
हम्म.
स्टार्ट इन्वेस्टिंग, हैव मल्टीपल सीड्स. सो सम
राइट.
विल डू गुड, सम विल डू बैड. तो जो अच्छा कर रहे हैं उनको देन यू नो प्रमोट मोर बेसिकली.
हाँ. 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 राइट. तो मेरे को ये बताओ, जैसे आपने बोला देयर आर सो मेनी इन्वेस्टमेंट ऑप्शंस, ठीक है. अब हमें इन्वेस्टमेंट ऑप्शंस पता चल गए. नाउ यू टेल मी हाउ टू चूज द राइट इन्वेस्टमेंट आउट ऑफ ऑल दीज चॉइसेस. जैसे अब मुझे लग रहा है कि मैं इसमें ही डालूंगी पैसे या उसमें ही डालूंगी. नाउ हाउ टू क्रिएट द राइट चॉइस, वो मुझे कभी समझ में नहीं आता. व्हाट इज द राइट चॉइस?
देखो, इसमें दो तीन चीजें होती हैं. जैसे मैंने मनी मैनेजमेंट का बताया कि लिव ऑन 90%, राइट, 10% बाहर रख दो. दैट्स अ वेरी वेरी बेसिक फॉर्मूला.
राइट.
सिमिलरली क्या होता है कि जैसे मैंने बताया, देर आर ओनली broadly there are only two investment choice. One is debt, another is equity. Just
राइट.
simplify it, don't complicate it, right?
हम्म.
इसमें भी एक स्टैंडर्ड फार्मूला होता है. सम पीपल फॉलो दैट, बट यू कैन क्रिएट योर ओन फार्मूला डिपेंडिंग ऑन दी योर रिस्क प्रोफाइल. एंड रिस्क प्रोफाइल यू कैन चेक. देयर आर मेनी ऑनलाइन चेकलिस्ट वेयर यू कैन there are some 10-20 questions and you can see
हम्म.
what is your
हम्म.
comfort level. Because उसमें क्या, वो डायरेक्ट नहीं पूछेंगे. They will
हम्म.
indirectly ask the question and they will create your profile that your comfort कैसे होता है.
हम्म.
Either you are very very aggressive, or
हम्म.
on the other side you are very very defensive. So the
ओके.
defensive one goes for the FD, the
हम्म.
aggressive one go for the the full equity, and then
हम्म.
there is a balance in between. So इसका
ओके.
formula क्या होता है for long term investments is like 100 minus your age is the equity component. So suppose somebody is say you can say 30 years. right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
100 minus 30 comes to 70.
20.
So that
Hmm.
70% goes to equity.
Acha.
That, depending on your comfort, you can either invest directly into equity or you can
Hmm.
invest into equity mutual fund. The
Okay.
other 30%, right? The 30% goes to the fixed deposits, the
Okay.
debt fund. Normally क्या होता है कि बहुत बार डेट फंड को रिकमेंड किया जाता है, बट डेट फंड अगेन इट कैन फ्लक्चुएट, एफडी
Hmm.
डज नॉट फ्लक्चुएट. सो डिपेंडिंग ऑन योर एज यू कैन हैव दैट काइंड ऑफ एसेट एलोकेशन. बिकॉज होता क्या है, बहुत बार ये जो ग्रीड होती है ना, उसमें क्या होता है,
हाँ.
तुम्हारे पास 100 रुपए हैं बचे हुए, और यार उसमें रिटर्न बहुत अच्छा आ रहा है, यहाँ तो 7% आएगा, उठा के 100% उठा के उसमें डाल दिया. तो जब
हाँ.
तक वो मार्केट अच्छी बढ़ रही है, एवरीथिंग लुक्स वेरी रोजी. But when it goes the other way around, then the
हाँ.
impact is very, very huge.
Then it is
So you
risky.
should know what
Hmm.
is your
Hmm.
tolerance level. और
हाँ.
इसमें भी
हाँ.
क्या होता है, your short term, medium term, long term, you really have to see. Like कुछ बार क्या होता है, पैसे की requirement immediate है, कुछ आपके
हाँ.
goals हैं जो 3 से 5 साल के आसपास में है, कुछ हैं they are
Hmm.
beyond 10 years. So
Hmm.
with 10 years you can take exposure to equity because over a period of time it will balance out. बट
Right.
आपको अभी पैसे की जरूरत है अभी 1 साल 2 साल में, और आपने लालच में क्या किया, इक्विटी में डाल दिया और मार्केट जस्ट गोज फ्लैट और गोज डाउन. What happens?
हाँ.
It will spoil your budget basically. See,
Hmm.
पैसे
Hmm.
का होता क्या है, it only has financial implication, nothing else.
Right.
बिकॉज मनी से अदरवाइज क्या है कि, और इसीलिए एक चीज बोली जाती है कि पैसा जो है ना, स्पेशली द इनिशियल thing, you really need to reach to a level where you becomes comfortable, because
Right.
beyond that you need to be really very careful.
Hmm.
एक पॉइंट पे
What
क्या
is
होगा,
that
मनी
comfort
विल नॉट
level?
इम्पैक्ट, एक पॉइंट
Hmm.
के बाद मनी विल नॉट इम्पैक्ट, बट
Hmm.
द अर्ली स्टेजेस, स्पेशली द when we talk about say teenage parents, right, they have lot of financial obligations, right
Right.
from their
Hmm.
schooling, their future say education, then
Hmm.
their higher education, and
Right.
then sometimes they have parents also at home, then their
Correct.
own saving also is important, because
Absolutely.
nowadays you cannot depend on your
You
children
cannot.
for your retirement and all, right?
Absolutely.
So you
Hmm.
have all kind of objective, and then there is something called, when I talk about inflation, there's something called lifestyle inflation, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
even if you can afford something, see, on the lowest side you have seen in it in corona, right,
Hmm.
that that is the minimum level of living people will have. Like when
Correct.
everything shut down, that is the
हाँ.
minimum amount you require for living.
हाँ.
But
हाँ. Absolutely.
right, but
Because
on the
medical
other side,
emergency will not knock your door and come. It will come
right, right,
anytime.
right. And उसके अलावा क्या है कि जितना भी होता है कि आपको you really need money for everything, for all these
Hmm.
objectives, right?
Hmm.
And that is why this balancing is required.
Hmm. So, what is that balance? Like, is it 90-10? What is
No,
that
I
balance?
told you the very basic formula is 100 minus your age.
Age, that should be the bracket which we should put our money on equity or
So
anything.
say, so the age is say 40,
Hmm.
right? So 100 minus 40 comes
60.
to say
Huh.
60, right?
Hmm.
So 60% goes to equity
Hmm.
and 40% goes to debt
Okay.
as a basic formula. This is
Hmm.
called asset allocation.
Okay.
At any point of time, you should never think कि यार ऐसा नहीं होगा, because risk is always uncertain.
Right.
And this is also part of the risk management, because
Hmm.
many times it should not happen that you put everything in equity, and when it goes the other way around, your entire goal setting will go haywire, right? You need
Wow.
money for something and you realize that it has already got into the loss and you don't have money, right? So
Right.
this
Right.
is also part of risk management, and that is how the primary investments are like this only, debt and
Hmm.
equity, right? And
Right.
this allocation is very, very important. The
Hmm.
debt
Hmm.
part you can manage in multiple ways, like you have fixed
Right.
deposits.
Huh.
Sometimes people who are working, they have that EPF is there,
Huh.
then there are some PPF, and those, all those the fixed kind of returns which are there, right?
Huh. Huh.
There were debt funds, but nowadays because of the tax issues and all, many times they don't prefer. And second thing is, it is not fixed, it is
Hmm.
always there. Sometimes they
Right.
also go down. And the
Hmm.
equity side, you have the mutual funds or the direct equity. So
Right.
in the long run, it is better to learn equity, because even if you give small exposure, there is no harm, because
Correct.
how I look at it, the direct equity, you cannot create say new Reliance or HDFC Bank by yourself. Am I right?
Right. Right.
If you want to
Absolutely.
create a new business, you cannot
Hmm.
create any Tata, Birla, Reliance, HDFC Bank new. But being a shareholder, you can actually partially own that company, like you bought say some shares of say Reliance or something, right? Any company.
Right,
Your cash
right.
alone for that, right? And if they are
Absolutely. I
growing,
don't,
if
yes,
they are
yes.
growing, your money is growing.
Yes,
I
yes,
mean,
and I get to read about that company because since I'm
right,
invested,
right,
my
right,
investment, I'll read about it. I'll check the newspapers about that company, so my knowledge is expanding towards that company
right.
because you're
But
invested. You're
again, the
happy to
question
share.
is that you need to learn investing, right? I mean, it is not like specific recommendation. The idea is that if you want to go with direct equity, you need to
Huh.
learn. You just
Right.
don't invest on tips or something, or just
Blindly.
by
Hmm. Hmm.
assuming that returns are good, just get into it.
So I think for that you are there. So I don't think you
Yeah,
should
yeah,
be
there are so
worried
many
about
people,
it.
not only me. The only thing is, uh, इसको मैं कैसे बताऊं? जैसे you have some problem, you go to the doctor. How do you decide about a doctor? Sometimes
Correct.
your experience is good, sometimes your experience is not good, but still you give
Huh.
it a try. you
Right.
you take your children or you go to the doctor by yourself.
Correct.
Sometimes you like the doctor very well,
Sometimes you don't.
everything works fine. Sometimes you say, yeah, this doctor is not good, yeah, it
Huh.
doesn't work. But you always need to have a control. Sometimes you have to take a call. It doesn't mean that whatever doctor recommends you just go blindly. You really need to see,
Right.
whether it
Hmm.
is fine, not fine.
Hmm.
What are the if
Hmm.
and buts. So those things, I mean, you have to be always cautious, because end of the day it is your money. It
Your
is
money.
your
Yeah.
your
Absolutely.
direct responsibility. Nobody can
Absolutely.
take care of, best care other than you.
Huh.
Like
And
all
later
others is
we
an
can
external.
always regret that
Yeah.
why did you invest? Because
Right.
you are supposed to be the decision makers. I
So the
agree
best
with
decision
you.
can be taken by yourself only. I mean, no
Absolutely.
other person can take. They can only recommend, right? The
Huh.
decision
Huh.
making is always yours.
Is yours. Right. Right.
It's
Right.
like, I always say when it comes to teenage parenting,
Hmm.
the parents for any other thing they can blame anybody, right? But
Huh.
for teenage, for their children, it is their original creation. They cannot
Huh.
say like, usne aisa kiya, usne kaise kiya. Boss, it is your own original creation. You are
Huh.
responsible for that.
Huh.
So same way,
Right.
finance is also like, whatever you're doing, the other people can only recommend. The best decision only you can take. You can decide what is best for yourself, your family, and your own goal objectives and all.
Right.
The
Right.
best call can be taken by you only.
Absolutely. I agree. I take that as an advice from you. So now, Sunil, thank you for such an insightful session. Now, I have prepared a fun rapid fire round for you. So, in which I'll just ask you a few questions and you have to be
Oh
real
my
quick
god.
in the answering. Okay?
Oh
You
my god. This
cannot
will be
think, it
fun,
has
but
to
I'm
be
not
more
prepared, right?
spontaneous.
It is fun, but I'm not prepared. So like it's
So
like
I don't want you to
impromptu,
be
right?
prepared. I
So I
want you
need
to
to be
just
prepared,
think
right?
of it. So, are you ready?
Yes, I have no choice.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I usually do this and it's always fun. So I'm sure I'm going to have loads of fun.
No, I'll try my level best, and
I am
will
sure
ensure
you
there
will.
is no risk involved. I
No,
should
no,
not
no
take
risk at
it.
all. Believe you me. Yeah, no risk. So, comes to the first question. What is the first thing you saved up as a kid?
Sorry, sorry. Come again. What is the first?
What is the first thing you saved up as a kid?
I didn't
As a
understand your.
child? As a child, what was the first thing you saved?
What is the first thing I saved? Oh my god. I have to go back to my childhood.
Yeah. You have
Uh,
to be really quick. It's rapid fire.
oh, I think I bought a computer. I think that is the first thing, but that was not early
Wow.
child. Early child was only same gullak and all. Like I
Ha,
saved,
ha.
and I was in the habit of having that gullak right from the beginning. I used to
Okay.
save a lot right from the beginning.
Me
That
also.
habit was
I
there. Right,
loved
right.
it. Yeah.
In
So,
childhood,
but your first thing you bought for yourself and you saved up and bought something was a computer.
I think cautiously, but that was during my college days, not childhood. Because
Not
childhood, I
childhood.
never, had these kind of privileges and all. And that time, honestly, that market was not like that, because
Ha,
even
ha. We
because
didn't have.
nowadays, the children have cycle of various type. That time we
Right.
used to go and have a rented cycle, right?
I
So there
agree.
was,
I
I mean,
agree.
the market was different dynamics.
They're very different, very
Yeah,
unique.
yeah.
Yes, yes. So now the next question, piggy bank or digital app? How would you teach your child to save today?
Piggy bank or
Digital app. Any kind of digital. What will you teach your child to save
the
money
piggy bank,
from
and
today?
the piggy bank also, that mitti ki gullak is the best actually, because you can touch and feel that.
Hmm.
whether it is money, like you will touch the money, then you will put it into the gullak, and the joy of breaking that gullak. See, some gullaks, they have the lock and key, right? But this
Ha,
gullak
ha.
actually you have to break.
There's no
The
lock. Ha. You
joy,
just have to
the
break it. Ha.
suspense, right? When you break, then you bring out everything and then you count. That joy, that's a system which gets created. That touch
Ha.
and feel is very, very important actually.
Okay.
Technology, they can always upgrade at a later stage, when they grow up and they become like, say, college going or school going children, then it is
Hmm.
fine. But for the early childhood, mitti gullak, no alternative.
Okay, perfect. So, what is that one financial advice you wish you would have gotten as a teenager?
If I have to say it in one word or something, then it is money mindfulness. I was always conscious about money, right?
Okay.
But
Hmm.
again, I'll say two three things, in this, not one, but money mindfulness is the core. But one is that you need to take care of the cash flow, and
Hmm.
another is that seeding, because unless you
Hmm.
don't put seeds, you can't reap the fruit at a later stage. So I was
Right.
always in the habit of, even if it is small amount, I always
Hmm.
always had in the habit of, say, putting some money somewhere or something the moment I start earning, or say not teenage, because teenage we don't know when it pass by. Actually, we never
Right.
realize. But the moment we started earning in our early
Hmm.
ages, that is the thing. Money mindfulness, like cash flow, then your seeding. And
Seeding.
third
Hmm.
thing is always in the mind, should always question what can go wrong. That is the
Right.
part of, the, you can say, the risk management. One
Hmm.
should always be cautious about risk, because it is
Risk. Hmm.
always uncertainty. You never know how it will knock your door, right? So
Absolutely.
you
I
should
agree.
always ask what can go wrong. Anything.
Hmm.
It's a
Hmm.
very, very simple question, but very, very profound question actually. What
Right.
can go wrong? Simply ask, any
Ha.
situation, anything, what can go wrong, and just
Right.
prepare for it. That's all.
Perfect. So, which comes to our next question. If you could invest in only one thing, what would it be? Will it be gold? Will it be stocks? Or will it be real estate?
None of them.
Okay, then what would it be?
It will be first learn the driving, because money is your very, very important resource, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
to make the best compounding out of that money, which is a limited resource, it is
Hmm.
best first to invest in learning. Because the
Okay.
moment you know say where to invest, then it
Huh.
doesn't matter whether you're investing in gold, real estate, or whatever options you're giving, right? Because
Right.
then you'll be master of it. You will
Huh.
do the asset allocation and you will invest into all actually.
Right.
Instead of asking, which, tell me one investment. No, there is no one investment. Because if you see the portfolio, at any point of time, you,
Hmm.
the other way, I will say that, when you go for, say, some food, or there's a buffet there, you
Huh.
select. If somebody
Yeah.
asks, बॉस आपको सिर्फ एक ही चीज लेनी है, कोई सी एक चीज ले लो, नहीं ले पाओगे. You need
Huh.
some, buffet.
Some knowledge.
आपको
Huh. Huh. Huh.
आपको गोलगप्पे पापड़ी भी चाहिए, आपको प्रॉपर खाना भी चाहिए, आपको स्वीट डिश भी चाहिए. You need a, so similarly, investing world, you
Huh.
need a combination of few things.
Few
It
things.
will never be a solution that you pick only one
Just
investment.
one. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
invest in learning, and then you create that buffet for you.
Hmm.
That is how
Wow.
it works. Yeah.
I love the way you answered. Loved it. So
Because
describe your
I'm
money.
foodie also actually.
Sorry.
I am foodie also. That is why I always link it with the food.
So describe your money personality in one word.
Money personality, I will say, one word.
Hmm.
I always, very difficult, but I'm always a easygoing person. Money has never been a priority for me,
Hmm.
honestly
Hmm.
speaking.
Hmm.
But I won't say that money has a value, but that's not the only thing. Like,
Right. Hmm.
to me, I always highlight the real prosperity. And real prosperity, again, is a fine balance between your, say, health, wealth, relationship, and then staying spiritually grounded. What
Perfect.
happens when people say, only talk about, say, money, right?
Huh.
What happens? Money is like a salt in the vegetable. How much
Huh.
salt you can have, right?
Huh.
Right? It has some role to play. Beyond
Yes.
that, it will not add any taste to your vegetables, right? You can
Right.
store it to some extent, but beyond that you can't do. So that is
Huh.
how
It
it is.
will.
Money
Huh.
is
It
like,
will become bitter.
yeah,
Hmm.
it needs some blend, but that's not the
Ah,
only core
only
objective.
thing in
Money
life.
is,
Yes.
again, give you choices, but I mean, money is not everything. End of the day,
Correct.
you need, a level
To
where
have
you,
the,
yeah,
balance between the other things also,
yeah.
which are
But
super
I mean,
important.
up to a stage, I mean, how I say that, you reach to a level of
Hmm.
money after which there's no financial stretch. You don't need to
Right.
worry about money. You must reach that level. So I
Hmm.
won't say that money is not important. That way it is important, but
Absolutely.
it
Hmm.
has a limited role to play.
Right. It
आपके
is not
अकाउंट में
the
एक पॉइंट
only
के
thing.
बाद, या एक
Hmm.
पॉइंट के बाद आपकी तिजोरी में 1 करोड़ है, 10 करोड़ है, 100 करोड़ है, इट विल नॉट एड एनी स्पाइस टू योर लाइफ बियॉन्ड अ
Hmm.
पॉइंट. So there are
You
other
need
things which
people
are
to
important.
share with also.
Yes, yes,
You
yes. That is,
need
see,
real
if you see,
humans.
if you see
Huh.
the biggest, investor like Warren Buffett, or the Bill Gates, or maybe the Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, a good majority of their wealth, whatever they created, huge wealth, they are doing charity only. They've
Huh.
already committed donation, because beyond that, it can't add any value to them.
Right.
But yes, it's a number game. You
It's a
can
number.
say my balance sheet size is say 1 crore, 10 crore, 100 crore. It's just a balance sheet size. That's all.
Hmm.
It
Correct.
won't
Correct.
change your life, and that is my perspective of life. And I always link it with real prosperity, because I don't know
Huh.
what personality I should say, like I'm like that, but I
Huh.
never worried about money that way.
Right. Right. Okay. So that
I'm
next
sorry,
question.
I'm not giving answer in, like, say,
I wanted few words. So next time it's going to be more wording. But although we're enjoying the way you are answering, but quite diplomatically.
yeah, yeah.
So what's more important, saving for the future or enjoying the present?
It's a balance,
Again,
because
very
again,
diplomatic answer. I want one.
yeah. So what you said, like investing for the future, or
I said, what is more important, saving for the future or enjoying the present?
again, I always have a contradictory answer. Both.
Actually,
I
I've
mean,
chosen the question where you could have got trapped, but I think you're smart enough to
yeah,
not get
yeah.
trapped.
See, होता क्या है कि you should not spoil your current life, preserving your future.
Hmm.
And the other way around also, that you should not enjoy so much in the present that your future gets
Spoil your
spoiled.
future.
So
Hmm.
keep an eye on your future also, but don't, say, enjoy those little things in daily life also, because those small
Hmm.
pleasures.
Hmm.
So the life is a journey, end of the day. So
Absolutely.
enjoy every moment of it,
Hmm.
keeping an eye on your future also. But I always feel like it's a balance, like keep an eye
Ha.
on the goal and the enjoy the current life also. That is how I
Ha.
live.
Ha. Ha. No, I agree with you because I also feel like I had heard it in one of the story that past is history, future is mystery, and present is present because it's a gift. So enjoy
Oh,
it.
very nice.
But you
Very
should
nice
not
quote.
enjoy that much that present becomes a problem later. So that present should be enjoyable, but at the same time enjoy the future which is coming ahead because that's a mystery, so going to
Yes,
be a
yes.
surprise for
Yes,
you,
yes, yes.
so you have to preserve that as well.
See, इसमें क्या है कि, I mean, the present, this, see, what is life? Life is like these small moments, like those seconds become minutes and hour, then day and
Hmm.
month and year.
Hmm.
That is how life is. You
Right.
can't think of something which is in future, but you're ignoring those, everyday's moments. You should
Ha.
chill out, enjoy. Keeping an eye on the future, should not ignore, because you should always be prepared, because that
Hmm.
future will become present at some point of time,
Right. Right.
right?
Absolutely.
Past is dead and gone. That is okay. That is
Then
only for
gone. Yes.
learning. Yeah, that is
Yes.
only for learning.
Absolutely.
तो कहते हैं
Absolutely.
पास्ट जैसा भी हो, should not lose the lesson. That is very important.
Ha. Correct. Correct. Absolutely. One thing parents should avoid when teaching kids about money.
That the feeling of that easy money,
Hmm.
no freebies. That money mindfulness right from the beginning should be there. Once that
Right.
comes, it's a system which gets created. Because
Hmm.
many times I saw the children get spoiled because they don't have time, so they compensate with money. That okay, you do
Hmm.
whatever you want to do. Here is the money. Here's the check. Here's the mobile. Everything. So I feel,
Right.
even if parents can afford, that mindfulness should be there, that they should not give that easy money feeling. They should feel
Hmm.
that there is
Hmm.
an effort behind that.
Right.
That is how it is, because initially, if the foundation is made, believe me, if the children is cautious about that feeling, he
Hmm.
will never have problem relating with money in future
Ha.
throughout the life.
Right. What is the best financial lesson you've learned from your parents?
From the parents,
Hmm. From your parents.
yeah, it's like you know again, money is an important resource, is a
Huh.
very very important resource, right? I mean, it gives you the overall flexibility. You can say,
Hmm.
I mean, on other side I say money is not important, but
Hmm.
money gives you lot of things. It gives you
Lot of
freedom of
freedom to do
choice.
what you like.
Right, right. So
Lot
money
of
is a very
freedom.
very important resource. You should not take it casually. In fact, I say it like this, money is a kind of energy, or it's a flow of energy, and it needs proper direction. And if
Hmm.
you don't direct it properly, it will just go anywhere.
Right.
So keep that tab on this energy, preserve it, be cautious about it. Don't take it
Hmm.
lightly, because it's a very very important resource. Respect it. That is how
Right.
and I say that goddess of Lakshmi, पूजा
Hmm.
करते हैं लक्ष्मी की, right? वो
Absolutely.
इसीलिए करते हैं कि you, I mean, it's a very very important resource. You should be careful.
Huh.
That is what, because we are not from very rich families, right? We have seen how,
We have seen
we have
hardships. Ha
grown
ha.
from. Yeah, so that is how it is. It's a very very important
Absolutely.
resource. That is the only lesson I say.
Hmm. Hmm. So, would you rather give your teen monthly allowance or have them earn it?
Have them.
Earn it. आप चाहते हो कि वो earn खुद करे वो monthly allowance कि आप देना चाहते हो उसको monthly allowance?
Uh, See, again, it is better to, fix a pocket money. On
Hmm.
the backside, you're always there, right? You're
Hmm.
always there to support them. But they should understand that it's a limited resource.
Hmm.
The earning part comes at a later stage, because once the earning comes, they
Hmm.
will never ask money from you.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's till they start earning, the pocket money is a very very good choice. Of course, you're always there to support, but they should
Hmm.
understand they have a budget. They should
Hmm.
understand, they should
There's a
understand
limited
that, it's
resource.
a limited
Hmm.
resource. So whenever they go and see something, okay, I want to buy this, they should know, like, you have this much, that costs this much. Then their
Hmm.
mind will work, how
Right.
to arrange for the, the additional fund, whether they want to loan it from the parents, or they want to save additional, or they want to wait for some more time. That is how, this is like passive learning about money. you know
Ha ha.
See, it is
Right.
very easy. The major challenge with the parents is what? Is the emotional challenge.
Hmm.
बच्चे ने बोला मेरे को ये चाहिए, अब बेटा ले ले, कोई बात नहीं. सी, द इशू इज, इफ यू हैव अ बजट, दे विल आस्क, मम्मा मेरे को ये लेना है कि नहीं लेना है, मैं लूं.
Hmm.
इधर यू विल से कोई नहीं बेटा, आई विल सपोर्ट इट, और यू विल
Right.
से wait for another month, because next month pocket money combined together you can buy. So that
Right.
pocket money concept is a very good concept, and that's a kind of early learning about budgeting.
Hmm.
Children will understand, and at a later age, once they start earning, possibly they will never know, or they will never ask you for money actually.
Hmm. Correct. Correct.
Because
Absolutely.
my son now, he's like almost finishing his post graduation, right?
Wow.
And maybe next year he'll be like, into, say, the earning stage kind of,
Right.
and we know even now he's very very money conscious. But in future, we know, I mean,
He will not ask,
he won't need
obviously.
money. He won't, because he has enough of resources. But he's very very money mindfulness, because he's like very cautious about money. He
Hmm.
obeys the budget. He check, and that is why we never had problem. We never had to actually, fix up any budget also, because we know that, he's
He
very
himself
cautious
is
about.
very particular. Hmm.
So depending on the children also, if the children is already trained, like he's very
Hmm.
cautious about money,
Hmm.
then even budgeting doesn't matter, even
Ha.
pocket money doesn't
Ha.
matter, because he is very cautious. The
Ha.
parents know in and out about children, like, how he's, whether he's like expensive or whether he's just extraordinary. Like, if you see in the mall, sometimes children just, they create tantrums and all, so whether
Right.
he's fine or he's not fine. If he's
Ha.
not fine, then budget is the right choice. Like,
Right.
fix up the pocket money. He is fine, then it
Absolutely.
is okay. Yeah.
Correct. Correct. So with that, we finish our rapid fire round.
I, I can relieve now, because the rapid fire was slightly tough for me actually, because it
I
was.
think you came out with flying colors, so that was perfect.
Thank you, but it was very nice. A lot of word of wisdoms actually came, and believe me, the life about money is very simple. If you keep it
Hmm.
simple, believe me,
It
you
is
don't
simple.
need to
Yeah.
take too much stress out of it.
Hmm.
It's a
Hmm.
pure number game. If you set your number right, very soon,
Ah.
you'll be out of that loop of that financial problem, right? Or the
Hmm.
financial
Hmm.
stress. And once
Right.
you're out of that, that is called the real financial freedom. Many
Correct.
people, they ask, what is financial freedom? So this
Ah.
financial freedom is, that is, when you stop worrying about money, you have
Hmm.
enough of that, and that you say, okay, that's enough. After that, it's just a number game. It's just the balance sheet
Absolutely.
size, nothing else.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. So, as we discussed today, teaching children about money is more than just giving them piggy bank or pocket money. It's about instilling the lifelong habits, building a strong money mindset, helping them understand the value of patience, sacrifice. So, our kids observe and absorb everything around us. So, earlier we start teaching them the principles, the better they are prepared for the real world. As Sunilji rightly said, we have to be money mindful. Understand what is your real budget, understand what exactly is your money, keep it limited because resources are always limited for children. It's like planting a seed today. It will grow into a tree of financial responsibility and independence. So, when it is saving with a gullak, learning delayed gratification, and understanding the importance of investment. So, thank you so much, Sunilji, for this enlightening and insightful session. It was truly wisdom waves for us today. Thank you
Absolutely
so
right. You
much.
summarized it well, and thank you very much for inviting to the wisdom waves. And believe me, the word itself is so encouraging and inspiring, actually. And let's keep the energy live, and let's keep the wisdoms
Absolutely.
flow. And just in case anybody requires any kind of help, I can, I'm always available. And any
Sure,
kind of
sure, absolutely.
support which is required, let the wisdom flow, actually.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, thank you all of you for joining today's session. It certainly means a lot when you come in such large numbers. It's so enlightening and so beautiful to see such beautiful people around us. And I hope these insights help you to start and continue teaching your children the value of money in practical ways. And if you found this useful, feel free to share your own tips on stories or in the comments. And before we go, please make sure that go ahead to CA Sunil Gupta 95. That is Sunilji's ID. Go there, check out his page, follow him, and understand about money investments, money management, and other related queries because I know he is the real man who can help you in understanding how to invest, what to invest, how to invest, and all the closed doors can open for you because, as we said, it is absolutely a big ocean. So, when you are trying to dive into the ocean, you just don't jump in, you have to learn. So, this is where you can learn, and he'll help you understand different things. He'll help you decoding your own money management skills so that it is just not helpful for you but for your entire family. What you do, your child watches and learns from you exactly. So stay tuned for the next live session where we will dive deeper into practical things on parenting and other stuff. That is how I guide your teens and making the first investment options. Thank you so much, Neilji, once again. And thank you all of you for joining in here.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thanks for the invitation and this program. Yeah.
Thank you.